So the UEFA Champions League is done and dusted for now until probably after the international break. And all the English teams maintain momentum as they were able to go unbeaten. Yes, none of the English teams lost. In fact, all the English team won except Chelsea. And I blame Enzo Maresca for Chelsea drawing that match because obviously that match was there for the taking. Karabag are a very small team compared to Chelsea. You can't be doing that, Enzo Maresca. This is not the Carabao Cup that you just put out an ordinary 11. This is the Champions League. This is not the Conference League. You cannot be traveling away from your home in the Champions League and then look at that midfield. If not that Lavia had injury, we wouldn't have seen Caicedo. Enzo Maresca, learn from this. In the Champions League, what you are supposed to do is play your best 11. Once they are done leading by either 2 goals or 3 goals, then you begin to rest them individually. You cannot just come in a Champions League match and then you decide to change all your starting 11. Haba, in a Champions League away match. But I'm sure Enzo Maresca will learn from that, and I'm sure that this weekend Chelsea will do the job against Wolves. Let's hope and, of course, believe, because according to news, Kopama is not yet back. We'll still have to be waiting until probably after the international break, if not even closer to the end of November. But let's get started on the Premier League this weekend. This is the 18-yard box. Welcome back to our channel. Please kindly do well to subscribe and always try to obviously hit the like button, try and comment below, help us and come back for contents like this. So there are early kickoffs this weekend, talking about Manchester United, who had rested during the midweek break because obviously they are not in the Champions League. So Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur are having a blockbuster game this weekend because Tottenham lost their last game and Manchester United drew their last game. I am expecting a difficult match, and it's an early kickoff. Yes, an early kickoff. I think 12:30 or so. And in previous times, Tottenham Hotspur has been, I don't know what they have done to Manchester United, but they have been beating Man U back to back to back to. Anywhere they catch Man U, whether in a Europa League, whether it's in the Premier League, whether it's in the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup, they will beat Manchester United. So Ruben Amorim, this is an opportunity to change that. I know that Tottenham are a very good team, and obviously they have some of their injury doubts because according to the coach of Tottenham, Thomas Frank, he's not certain if Mohamed Kudus will be available for that game. But let's hope and pray that Kudus is available, because obviously Mohamed Kudus is a wonderful player, and if Mohamed Kudus is in your team, that's a +1 for any team he's playing for. So if he wouldn't be available during the weekend, he would be a big miss for Tottenham, and Manchester United can as well capitalize on that with the form of Brian Mbeumo, Brian Mbeumo, and Ahmad. Those are the two clinical guys on Manchester United right now. So I'm expecting a very, very tough game. Yes, I'm expecting a tough game, and it is an early kickoff. And on the same Saturday, Arsenal will be visiting Sunderland. Now, let's not get this wrong. Sunderland are a very good team, and they are in a very good moment. Obviously, if you look at the Premier League table, the position you see Sunderland now, if you look where, it will surprise you. If they tell you that these guys came directly from the relegation, they came directly from relegation, and you look at them currently in the Premier League table, you wouldn't want to believe it. But that is the Premier League for you. A lot of surprises can go down. Sunderland now will be hosting Arsenal, and obviously, when you think about the Arsenal's defense, the Arsenal team as a whole, one thing comes to mind. Yes, and I'll tell you what comes to mind. Let me show you something. What is this? This is a clean sheet. When you think about the Arsenal team and the defense, You imagine Gabriel and Saliba, the first thing that comes to your mind is clean sheets. Let's not take we should take nothing away from these guys because I think in the last 7 or 8 games they have not conceded a single goal, both in the Premier League and in Europe. That's not a small feat to achieve. So let's not play down the importance of what this Arsenal team and especially the Arsenal defense are doing. And I don't think that Sunderland will be the team that will pose a threat to Arsenal this weekend. I know a lot of Premier League fans want to see Arsenal concede and all that, obviously, but I'm expecting a win for Arsenal and a clean sheet. Talking about Arsenal, Chelsea also play on Saturday against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Enzo Maresca. It is because of Wolves, you rested your players in the Champions League. You see against Wolves, I don't want to hear any excuse that this happened and then Chelsea mistakenly drew the match or they now allow Wolves to beat them. If that thing happens, Enzo Maresca, just know that you are in for it. Yes, because this was the reason why you rested all of your players. But if we are going to be honest, I expect a Chelsea win, even if, I mean, you might say that the Chelsea boys are a bit fatigued as a result of playing in the Champions League and, all of that. But Wolves at the moment, they are one of the most terrible teams in the Premier League. And they recently sacked their coach. So, when these small teams, when they sack their coaches and, employ another coach, there's always that new manager bounce that the next opponent they are meeting, they would want to, cause trouble as a result of the new ideas, the fresh motivation, the fresh enthusiasm, that new ginger of a new coach. So they might want to do gara gara. But I still expect a Chelsea win. I still expect a Chelsea win because the likes of João Pedro will be retaining his number 9 position. I expect Pedro Neto to come back and start. Enzo Fernandez will be starting, same as Moses Caicedo. And I expect the defense, because the defense that Chelsea played in this Champions League, to be honest with you, I don't understand. Tosin and Hato in a Champions League away match. Enzo Maresca needs to learn, and he needs to learn on time because you cannot be gambling with your defense. You need to build your defense, give them a run of games so that they can understand themselves. Don't just this week you are playing 2 sets of new defenders and next week you are playing another group of new defenders. But I expect Chaluba to come back into the defense and as well, what's his name? This guy that is injury prone. Fofana. I expect Fofana to come back into the game. Because Fofana, I don't know, that guy is a good player. But it's just injuries. Injuries has been what is hindering this Fofana of a guy. If that guy can stay fit, I think he would be one of the best, defenders in the current Chelsea setup. And then talking about the big game of the weekend, Liverpool and Manchester City. And the game, obviously, Manchester City are hosting Liverpool at the Etihad Stadium. And that game is a tricky game because some people will say that Liverpool have not been in form in the Premier League. But you can see that form is a temporary thing, but class is permanent. Liverpool are struggling, but they beat Madrid. They beat Madrid convincingly because they dominated Madrid from beginning to the end. And Erling Haaland has been in a very, very dangerous form. That guy, he has been scoring goals non-stop. Let's not take anything away from Erling Haaland. He has been one of the best players currently on the planet. So now you see that this game would be a very tough game. And Manchester City are top, are second, Liverpool are third. So this will be a very, very tight and I expect the game to be a very, very tight game. I don't expect a lot of goals in this game. I do not expect a lot of goals. They might even play a draw. But since it is the Etihad, I don't think that Liverpool would want to to just go all guns blazing and try and press Man City at the Etihad Stadium. Now, Guardiola, he's a very pragmatic coach. He knows how to twist his formation and he knows how to, if he watches the opponent and sees that, if you watch Man City Arsenal, you would see what Guardiola did there. He did not play the normal Guardiola pattern that we know. In fact, he decided to play a low block against Arsenal just to get that point. So Guardiola, there's an evolution to his tactical game. There's an evolution to the way he manages his team because when you don't have the likes of Kelvin De Bruyne, Ike Gundogan, you have to make tweaks and try to balance the team. You cannot always be attacking, always be attacking. Don't forget that Rodri is also injured and obviously he's going to miss this game. So Manchester City needs to be very careful because Liverpool are still Liverpool. Like I said earlier, I expect a tough game, but I don't think Manchester City would want to lose this game, especially given the momentum they have currently. They are in a very good form right now. Because aside the Aston Villa game, I don't think Manchester City have lost another game in the last 2 months or so. So they have been very, very good. But I expect Liverpool to pose a threat because Arne Slot said that Alexandra Isak would be available for this game. And I know that Isak is not firing on all cylinders currently, but Isak, na still Isak. Oh. If you give him the opportunity, if you give him that space, Isak can always hurt you. But let me know your predictions in the comment sections. Obviously, it's a big weekend, especially for Manchester United. I hope that Manchester United can win. Manchester United win. Win. I know that it will be a very difficult game, but personally, I'm supporting Manchester United to win